Okay, so the first point is that of the Sandbox Castle tour. So, as many of you may remember from around our Halloween event, we've kind of been planning a Sandbox Castle tour of the one and only Book Nerd Castle. Unfortunately, due to multiple Sandbox updates and things that have been coming in and out of the way, we are yet to have been unable to complete this. But don't worry, it is still on our radar as a big priority, right? We want as many people as possible to be able to attend. The Sandbox Castle tour. So, we will be sure to give as much of a heads up as possible to everyone so they can be in attendance because this will happen in the coming weeks. So I hope you guys are excited to be able to interact and experience the castle tour with us. We thought about doing it today, but we figured that because it's actually quite a big event, we're going to try coincide it with another larger event. If not, um, we will just you know give ample notice so it can you know so we can schedule it properly and as many people as possible can attend. Thank you.
Okay, so the next update is about the champagne. I know a few people have been messaging me, especially over the last few weeks, but we mentioned it in last week's AMA. But as the orders are coming in slightly slower now than they were at the beginning, the shipment times went up. Obviously, not the shipments themselves, as we're still sending them as expedited delivery as possible, but the actual orders being fulfilled by the warehouse. We did talk last week about almost setting set dates that the champagne would be sent out. We did plan that we were going to ship the champagne every month on the 1st and the 15th, so that people knew exactly when they had to get their orders into and when the champagne would be on the way. But having talked to the supplier this week, we found a new way that we can do it so that when an order's placed, it's almost directly sent to them and they can get working on it the same day. So this is what's been happening for the orders that have come in over the last week or so. I know a few people have also been DMing me about the tracking info. I did get an email today saying all of their orders up to now have been shipped. So if you haven't had your tracking number yet, the champagne is on the way, and we'll be working after the AMA today to email everybody the tracking number. But from now, if you are still on the fence about ordering your champagne and you want to get it before Christmas and New Year's, I would say to place your order as soon as possible. Like I said, the champagne is sent as fast as possible, and then it should only take a few days depending on where in the world you are. So there is still plenty of time to get it for the holiday season, but I would definitely place your orders sooner rather than later if you do wish to do so. Having spoke to the fulfillment center this week as well, we are still working, as we keep mentioning, on getting the shipping costs down as much as possible, especially if you're going to order multiple bottles and we can send multiple at once. We want to be able to offer discounts on that if we can. I know that will incentivize a lot of people, especially those who have quite a lot of chalices. I know a lot of people who come to the AMA week in, week out are sitting on a few chalices. So if the shipping costs did decrease, they would like to order multiple bottles at once. So as always, this is something we're working on as well to get the shipping down as much as possible.
Yes, thank you very much, Ryan. Hello, that guy. Hello, Martin. Before I go on to the next one, just thought I would say hello to some of the most loyal people I see here every week, man. Appreciate you guys, for real, for real. Okay, so next point is on the AMA Christmas schedule. We know all of you are close, like family to a lot of us, right? We've been spending week in and week out every day together for over a year now. But we also do have other family commitments in this time, right? Especially in this time of year. Um, you know, so in regards to this, there will be no AMA next week on the 14th of December. So what will happen is, even though that there will be no actual AMA like on stages and voice with all of you guys, we will be posting like some brief updates and stuff like that. We will be hanging around in the chat. We will be here in the layer throughout those days anyway, just to talk to everyone and hang out with them. It's just that like because some of us may be traveling, like me personally, I do have to travel. I have a trip with some close friends and family, so I will not be available. So yeah, so there shall be no AMA next week, which is that of the 14th of December, and they may not be one scheduled for the 28th of December as well, because this is obviously like peak Christmas season, pretty much just after Christmas, right before New Year's. So we, even though it's only an hour, we have family commitments and are traveling around this time, and would encourage as many people to do the same with their family. Yeah, so we take an enormous amount of pride. Hello, D's, my brother. Okay, I keep getting distracted, right? So we take an enormous amount of pride personally in being able to push out these AMAs and come and interact and spend time and hang out with everyone week in, week out, right? Wherever possible, right? Sometimes if we can't make the Wednesdays, we shift it over to the Saturday or the weekend or Friday or whatever, right? So, this is something that we kind of are like only pushing and canceling these AMAs because it is this time of year where we are trying to spend, as much time as we can with our families, right? We work around the clock all the time. So there may be just one or two AMAs missed during this time. So just wanted to apologize in advance. Um, you know, maybe you guys are a bit bored of my voice by now. So consider it a break from Mr. 2D's weekly endeavors into the mic. So yes, just an update and a reminder that on these weeks we will still post a text update to keep everyone in the loop, with dates and this like that, along the way. So yes, yes. Oh, never love you, Crisis, and that guy. You guys are the boys, and thank you, Ryan.
So the next update is about the Christmas event. Unfortunately, we're not quite ready to share details on this yet, but we have been working behind the scenes to see exactly what we can do and what we can offer. I know there are a few questions later in the AMA, so I won't touch on it too much now, but it seems that the Halloween event and the style that we did that in went down well. As most of you guys know, we were originally going to have a physical Halloween event, and we ended up switching it to something more virtual and online so that everybody could participate, and it seemed to go down quite well, having varied things such as the live aspects, the gaming, the competitions, prizes, giveaways, things like that. So we are planning to use this sort of format again at Christmas. We are also aware that especially it wasn't so apparent with Halloween as people were able to be here, but especially over the Christmas and holiday season, as 2D just mentioned, people will be travelling, they might not be home, and especially around Christmas Day and things like that, people aren't going to necessarily be sat on Discord all day. So this is something that we're also taking into account on seeing how we can make as many people be able to be involved and interact with the event, but without being able have to sat on Discord all day or waiting for a ping or things like that. So a lot of the aspects are going to be more spread out than they were at Halloween. So a lot of people have time to enter and things like that, and they're not constantly checking Discord. But we do plan to release more details about this over the next week or two as Christmas comes up. Another thing we wanted to touch on, in case you didn't see the announcement at the weekend, we did release 2 Christmas themed backgrounds on the dashboard, so if you haven't gone onto the dashboard to download those yet, you can. We like seeing people using them in the lair and on Twitter and things like that, and we do have more backgrounds coming over the next 2 weeks, so all the way up to Christmas and all the way through December you can be using these backgrounds for your vamps.
Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Ryan. And the last update before we go on to these lovely questions is that of the golden bottle. So the legend has it. Well, actually, it's just fact, right? The one of one golden bottle has not been claimed yet. So considering how many people have actually ordered the champagne, it may actually be included in the next batch. So pretty much, right? The chances are only getting higher and higher to get this rare collectible golden SVS champagne bottle. One of one, by the way, very rare, very nice, very good, very nice. As well as an entire SVS family. So if you are the winner and the owner of the golden bottle, you shall be receiving that. So as few bottles of champagne become available, as more and more people order through time, the likelihood of receiving this gets higher and higher and higher. So for all of you guys who are still hunting for it and have not ordered your champagne, there is no better time than this right now. And before we go on to the questions, I think maybe we can get a couple words from Fred.
Oh, some words.
Yes.
Well, I hope everyone's gonna have a great Christmas. Yeah.
Oh, could you explain what Happy Advent is before we continue, please? I need to hear this.
Well,
See how.
everyone knows that, but
Okay, who
apparently
knows
these
what
guys
Happy
don't.
Advent is? Someone please let me know?
Well, everyone knows an advent calendar. So
Yeah,
it's
but you
just the
said
next step.
Happy Advent on Sunday. It's every Sunday in December or something, right?
Yeah, like the 4 Sundays before Christmas, that's an Advent. So
So what happens on this happy Advent day? You explain
no, you
kindly.
just chill, spend time with the family, and yeah,
So it's a normal
light a
Sunday pretty
candle.
much. Oh, you light a candle.
Yeah, the thing is, right, you have this Advent thing, right, with 4 lights, like 4 candles, and then each Sunday you light one, and then at the end all 4 are gonna be lit.
The problem is you've just made this up.
I haven't. It's in the Bible, maybe.
But at the end of it, all 4 are lit. So did the candle last like a month when you get to the fourth
Yeah,
week?
because you only light it for a few hours, right? So it'll be like a staircase to heaven.
To heaven.
Fuck, bro. I don't know if you can climb stairs. Okay, next question.
Freddie, do you also have a
is,
chocolate advent calendar?
Of course.
So like, is it like a 25-day one?
24.
So do you make your own custom advent calendar? Or did you
So?
buy like one online? So what is it, like a chocolate a day?
No, it's a calendar a day.
Well,
Okay.
happy Advent, guys.
Not
yes.
yet, not yet. But...
Oh, sorry. Happy belated first Advent, right? Or is it not? Yeah, we
No,
already
just
passed one
happy
Sunday,
days,
innit?
really.
Just happy days.
No, perfect. Oh, yes. By the way, Freddie is going to the World Cup soon, right, Fred?
Oh yeah, Fred,
Yep,
tell us
for
about that.
the
Yeah, could you tell us about
14th semi-final.
that?
So I'll see you there if you're there.
Don't think anyone's going to be there.
Not sure.
Oh.
And if you want to assassinate Fred, it's going to be hard to miss at the World Cup.
Freddie, who will you be wanting to win when England are there?
England.
England. Okay, cheers.
Perfect. Yes, just don't wear any rainbow-colored T-shirts, and you shall be fine. I heard they will throw stones at you. Okay, so the first question for Fred is: I'm unable to unstake my vamps. Please fix.
Yeah, so this should be fixed now. I had to update the RPC, which it was dead. So yeah, for those who use Wallet Connect and Coinbase Wallet, if you had an issue, hopefully no more.
That was lovely answer. It is now fixed. Those who will wallet connect now over. Okay. Thank you, Fred.
Hang on.
Thank you. Is your mic dead,
Sorry, I was
Ryan?
muted again. So the next question is, when will the Sandbox tour likely happen?
Okay, so the Sandbox Castle tour will happen when Fred gets healthy. Okay, I'm just kidding. It's just because he's muted. Okay, so we hope for the castle tour to happen soon. In a likely, we want it to happen as soon as possible, but obviously it takes some time to arrange because it being with the holidays now, blah blah blah, it might be a bit messy. So in an ideal event, we might just do it in early January or something like that because we want to make it like quite a big event and we're going to promote it and have as many people come through as possible and have it be interactive. So in an ideal world, it should be around that. Next question for Ryan is, how is the progress coming along for the Xmas plans?
Oh yeah, so this was a question we got in the week, so that's what I based the update around, so there isn't too much else to say. But we do have a lot of plans going along. Like I said, we want to do it similar to the Halloween event, but we also don't want to just do it on Christmas Day, for example, as we almost don't want people to be on Discord on that day. So as the holidays approach closer, almost over that week or so, we're going to plan things a bit more spread out than they were over Halloween, but we still want to have as much variety of things, so I'm sure we'll have Brungus and Thrall doing some gaming and quizzes again. We can do a lot of competitions, giveaways. We'll also be putting out some contests on Twitter again over the next few days and week or so, running until the end of the month, so people have plenty of time to enter. So if you are thinking of how the event will really go, just picture it like the Halloween event, but slightly more spread out and slightly less time sensitive, because we want people to be able to, participate without having to be away from their families or on Discord at exactly specific times. The next question is, are you guys working on getting the sales monitor back up?
Yes. So it was down due to OpenSea API key getting cancelled, but I am working on fixing it. Yep.
Yep. Thank you, Brad. Next question, Ryan.
The next question is, can we... Oh, did we do that one?
No, rarity.
Yeah, can we get Rarity Sniper to include the bats and vampresses as well?
So we have the vampresses on them, and it's already done. So if you guys really want the bats on there, because they're not on there, we can reach out and speak to them. But just so you guys know, the bats are already on Rarity Tools, so it's just like seeing them through different means. So it's not really any much different than that, Next question from Ryan is, will there be a separate event for New Year's as well as Christmas?
So there won't be a separate event as such, but we are going to be spanning the Christmas event, like I just mentioned, over the week or so. So we will be leading certain things of it into New Year. For example, some of the contests that we're going to be hosting soon will be running for a few weeks until the end of the month, with the winners announced in the new year. We're also going to have a few different opportunities. For example, some in the week leading up to Christmas, and then some between Christmas and New Year. So I would picture it as more of like a holidays and New Year event, because we've got quite a lot planned for over the days, rather than there just being something, for example, on the 24th or 25th of December. We want to run it through so that people can do things at their own pace as well. They can enter the giveaways, and it's not like where they only have to be there for a certain minute or certain hour. So picture a lot of things all over the Christmas and New Year, because we've got a few ideas as well, especially including the champagne as it gets to New Year's. So a lot of announcements will come out about this over the next couple of weeks or so, as we get closer to the end of December.
Perfect, thank you, Ryan. Next question.
Yeah, so the next question is, I just purchased my first vamp, what are the coffins for? And then there's another question that's almost the same, saying, will the perfect pair coffins ever be used again? I remember we just had that one shop, and then that was it.
Yeah, so for some of you guys who may be a little bit new here, who are not aware, so this was just for perfect pair prizes, and they're not being used anymore. They are not in use anymore. They're just more of a collectible, and something that was like a point of importance for SVS, right? When we launched our perfect pairs, so it was like quite a big thing at the time. It was quite exciting. So going forward, they are just a collectible good. Okay, will there be another round of champagne or in real life products being released soon, Ryan?
Yeah, so there was talk about this, especially near the beginning of the champagne. We did always have discussions about a second batch of champagne. We were always quite adamant from the beginning that the first batch was going to be 1,500 bottles, but then dependent on the demand, there could also have been a second release or something more down the line that was less limited, or people would be able to get their hands on a lot easier. Right now, there are no more plans on the champagne front. Obviously, people will know that the 1,500 bottles of champagne were reserved pretty quick. I think we had 3 waves planned for it, but the Chalice NFTs all sold out within the first 2 waves, so it was all holders who ended up getting them as well, which is good. And we're also glad that people were able to get 1 bottle first at least, and then some people were able to double up later down the line. This is one thing with the champagne as well, is we did say from the beginning that if you had the Chalice NFT, your bottle would always be reserved, and you didn't have to rush to place the order. Obviously this is still the case, and if you've got your Chalice, you're able to order the champagne whenever you like. But one thing we did want to mention is slightly down the line, we might have to reconsider this slightly and see if we can try and push people to order the champagne. Obviously, the champagne's not in our hands and it's being handled by a champagne distributor, so things aren't quite as easy on the front of storage and things like that. And obviously, champagne does have an expiry date as well, and we wouldn't want it to be where there are still many hundred bottles, months or even years down the line, where people who are in the lair day in and day out would want these bottles, but then people who have chalices and almost forgot about them, who never intend to actually order the champagne, are just going to let it sit there and go to waste. So a lot further down the line, there might be different ways that we can redistribute the original champagne. But this isn't to say again that if you have your chalice, you're not going to be able to get a champagne. That's not what we're trying to say. Because we did say from the beginning that the chalice does guarantee you a bottle. But I'm just saying that there may be chances down the line where you might be able to order without a chalice, or there might be other ways we can distribute some bottles as well. But on the front of an actual second champagne, that isn't something that's on the radar right now. But what is on the radar, as we mentioned last week, is a few more physical items. After last week's AMA, I did get quite a few DMs from people with item suggestions. I know the plushie went down well a few months ago when that tied in with the coffins. So this is something we're looking at as well. And as it gets closer to the Christmas and New Year's event, we do have a few plans for some physical items that we want to release, especially some that are in limited quantities. We know people like the limited edition aspect rather than things that are just able to be ordered 24/7. So we are thinking of a few items, and we've got some in the works already, of where there's only going to be a very limited quantity of items that we can give away, and that'll be over the Christmas and New Year period as well.
Thank you, Ryan. And that was the last question for everyone who came. Thank you. That was truly beautiful. I do agree, Brad. That was a beautiful speech. I think there was a couple people that asked questions that I see. Someone asked who was the mysterious brand that we were going to collab with for merch. I'm not sure if I can say. Am I allowed to say that, Ryan? Are we like scoot free enough to say that now? What do you think?
Yeah, go for it.
Great.
Sorry.
That's why I'm allowed to say it. Yeah. So the brand that we were working to collab with for merch was actually Diamond Supply Co. If I am not wrong, big streetwear skate brand. But during the bull market, things were always very easy, and then after the bull market left, some people dropped off along the way. But yes, so hopefully that answers your questions. I think that would have been amazing too. I'm not bought. We worked really hard for it. Actually, we had tons of like merch designs out and shit like that, like collabs and ideas and stuff. Maybe one day we can drop those. We can drop those like ideas or Easter eggs or things that we had along the way with SVS and never really got to work out due to some reasons. Out there, right? So regardless, I think it's a great opportunity to be able to speak with these people. And I do think that once the bull market makes a swing and a return, we will be able to, reconvene with some of these big brands that want to make a push in the Web3 world when the market is in full fruition again, right? So definitely all our relationships with people like this will prove fruitful in the future. I fully and truly believe this. So on that stance, I think I just want to thank everyone for tuning in this week to this week's AMA. There shall be no AMA next week. 2D has a family trip in a different part of Asia. I shall take some photos and send it to you guys. I do love you all very, very much. Bye-bye. And then I will see you guys next week. I'll still be here in the lair every day as usual. Happy Advent indeed. But yeah, see you guys. Love you guys. And bye-bye. Bye-bye.